Hey guys, what's up? So you're probably wondering why I'm doing a part 2 review of The Dark Knight Rises when I already reviewed that. Well, rewatching my review of The Dark Knight Rises, some of the problems, one of the things about it was that I really didn't talk about some of the bad stuff, and I only talked about a lot of the good stuff, and I gave it a 10 out of 10 Batarangs rating. Well, looking back at it, I really, I said to myself, in order to actually give it a big, fair review, is to actually, since I talked about some of the good stuff, I have to talk about some of the bad stuff. So that's what I'm going to talk about here, and it's just going to be talking about mostly about the bad stuff. First of all, I have to bump this movie down to 9.5 out of 10 Batarangs, because looking at some of the problems do basically override some of the goodness in this movie, and I had to bump it down to at least that, but no lower, because some of the problems in this movie are very small, but they do add up, and I had to, take a few points off that. So it is instead a 9.5 out of 10 Batarangs rating instead of a 10 out of 10 Batarang rating. But some of the problems in this movie are very minor, but I just have to really talk about them in order to give a fair review. So here we go. Now, this will basically cover a lot of spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it, then watch this review. But after Bane fights Batman and breaks his back, which was awesome, he throws him into this super prison, which isn't really that super, it's just like, oh well, but whatever. He throws him in this prison, and there's like no guards making sure that Batman doesn't do, or Bruce Wayne doesn't do anything, anything insane, like try to get out of there. Like, even in Supermax, in Supermax prisons, they at least have some guards in case like a riot breaks out. So why wasn't there at least one guy sitting there going, Bruce Wayne, no, you're not gonna try to get back in your cell. I know you can argue that, well, there's only one person that ever escaped from this. It is really hard to escape this, super prison. But, that just seems to be a bad cover-up for really shitty writing. Another problem is, after Bruce Wayne does escape from the well, he rises up. How the hell does he get back to Gotham? Like, did he take a plane? Did he take a car? Did he walk there? Even if he took a plane, took a car or walked there, it seemed like it would take at least a year, because he looked like he was in, like, India, and to get all the way back to America, that seems like a really long time to do that. At least a passing mention about if he, snuck into a plane would have made some sense, but, they didn't do that, which kind of, doesn't really make sense, and when he shows up, you're like, what? How? Also, how the hell did he get back in the Gotham without being caught? I mean, didn't Bane say that if anyone, snuck into Gotham, he would have blew the place up? And then he say if anyone tried to sneak out of Gotham, that he would have blew the place up? That seems kind of dumb, if you ask me. I know you can argue that, oh, he's Batman, but, that just seems to be another cover-up for shitty writing. Another problem with this movie was the character played by Juno Temple. Now, at first, I thought, like, a lot of people were complaining, but, I thought, she was Holly Robinson. Holly Robinson was sort of the surrogate daughter to Catwoman. She took care of her, when, in the comics. But, it turns out that I looked up on the Wikipedia page for this movie, and she actually played a character named Jen. So I thought that they put the character in there for fan service, but, it's just a completely made-up character, and you see in her couple scenes, and you don't see her anywhere, after, her couple scenes, and that's really about it. And, that's kind of stupid if you ask me. Like, this character's in here for no reason, and she's not, like, a character for fan service. That would have made some sense, but no, she's just a character in this movie for no reason whatsoever. And, those are really the only problems about this movie. I really did like the ending. Again, I really wish they left up the, Batman died to interpretation. But, I guess you can sort of do that. But I really did like the ending where John or Robin Blake does get, into the Batcave. But my only problem with it is that why they called him Robin Blake. And I actually do kind of understand. But, because... a lot of people really wouldn't understand, if they called him Dick Grayson or Tim Drake or even Jason Todd, because, then a lot of people would be like, wait, who's that guy? Because a lot of people don't know many of the Robin's real names. So calling him Robin would sort of make them say, oh, yeah, that's, oh, it's Robin, so there you go. But, with all the flaws of this movie, it still is a good movie. Just because it has flaws doesn't mean it's a necessarily bad movie. It just means it's a very flawed movie. And I'm sorry I have to say this, but even the other Batman movies are very flawed. Batman Begins, Dark Knight, there are some flaws in the movie. They are not perfect movies. The same thing can be said with other Christopher Nolan movies. Like Inception, do I really have to give myself a headache just to understand the gist of what's going on? Yeah, please. But even with all the flaws, this movie still is a great movie, and it's a 9.5 out of 10 Batarangs. You have to see it. Don't, not see it because it has some flaws, and don't not see it because you're afraid to get shot. Don't be afraid. Get over your fears like Batman does when he fights the Scarecrow and Batman Begins or whatever. Go see this movie. It is amazing, and I really hope it gets more money than it already does, and it gets a billion. But no, apparently it's not. So yeah, thanks for being afraid. I know, yeah, you do have reason to be afraid, but don't be afraid anymore. Or else that douchebag wins. So, whatever. But please go see this movie. Just because it has some flaws doesn't mean it's a bad movie. It just means it's a very flawed movie. And so are many other films in the Batman series, even the other two ones. But go see this movie. It's very good. I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, as well as my favorite trilogy of all time. And that's me saying, that's my 2 cents. So, yep, see you, and bye.